Well, let's start on our hands and knees. Go ahead and mute yourselves, please. We're going to work on a little bit of balancing poses today and some just kind of working on our stabilizers as we head into fall. I think it's good to kind of get those toned up. So we'll start on hands and knees, shoulders above, under wrists, hips under knees. And let's first find cat pose, very appropriate for this group. Tuck your chin, tuck your hips under so that it's kind of scoops, and you're lifting the space behind your heart. On an inhale, lengthen your heart forward, spinal extension, pull your hands towards your knees, get a little bit of traction. Let's do that again. Press down into your hands, spread your shoulder blades apart, look towards your feet. Inhale into cow pose, collarbones broad. If you want to start to add in a little bit of motion, taking your hips back and around in some circles, feel free to do so. Kind of is a nice way to just check in with the full body and the spine and articulate it in every which way and motion. Then we'll come to center. Bring your right foot towards your right hand. If you have blocks, they'll be helpful today. So we're just going to go back and forth from half splits where we lengthen our spine like we do in cow pose, and then forward into a low lunge. Hips move down and forward. And the objective here is just to check in, see how everything feels, not to try to go into your fullest expression quite yet. No judgments. Let's go forward together one more time. Lift your heart as your hips move down. Sliding your hips back. You can keep your hands on your blocks. Bring your right knee to meet your left, and we'll switch. Bring your left foot forward. Let's slide back for starters in half splits. Left foot flexes, heart reaches forward. Think cow pose here. I had to stop and think. And then come forward into low lunge. Hips move down, heart lifts. We'll go back and forth. Just enough time to start to warm up the backs of our legs and the fronts of our hips. Let's come forward one last time here. Come back into Ardha Hanumanasana half splits, and then bring your left knee back to meet your right. Move your blocks aside for now and place them in the top of your mat on either side, because we will probably come back to them. Let's start with hands under hips or shoulders, and then move your hands one full hand print above where they are. First finger aligns with the outside edge of your mat, but your hands are shoulder width apart. Find cow pose, so hips move back. Tuck your toes, lift your knees just a couple of inches off the mat. Start to feel the strength activate. And then hips come back, ears in line with shoulders. And lastly, lengthen out through your backs of your legs. I need to take my earring out because I forgot to do so, and it's gonna make noise. All right. So your downward dog, pedal in place. Find some more stretch through the backs of your legs. Little exploration, starting to close the distance between mind and body. Arriving on the mat. Let's take 3 breaths. Deep inhale. Exhale out your mouth. Nothing you have to do here except breathe. Inhale from the depths of your belly. Open mouth, release. Last one. Now lift your heels over your toes, tuck your chin. Think cat pose through your upper back as you roll forward into plank. Press your fingertips into the mat. Turn the creases of your elbows forward. Bend your elbows and slowly, with patience, lower towards the earth. Instead of doing cobra pose, we're going to work again with our locust variations and work on back strength today. Let's start with hands clasped behind you. Keep your feet, tops of your feet pressed down. Feel your knees lift. Reach your arms back as far as they can go. Move them slightly away from your hips. Reach your heart forward and use the strength of your back to lift yourself away from the earth. Exhale, release. Again, this time we'll lift. We're going to separate our hands. Reach your hands back, thumbs down. This time our legs will lift as our heart lifts. Really reach back through your fingertips. Lift your legs from the glute and release. One more variation. Hands reach forward. Goal post your arms by bending your elbows, palms down, heart reaches forward, feet press back, toes spread, and release. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes through plank or knee plank. Press up and back to downward dog. From downward dog, we'll make our way to the top of the mat. You can do that by stepping, or if you'd like to playfully hop your way to the front of the mat, that's okay too. Inhale up halfway, palms press into your shins, shoulder blades slide down your back. Exhale, fold forward. Slight bend in your knees, lengthen your heart forward, arms reach out wide, come all the way up to standing, hands through heart center. Let's pause here for a moment just to check in and set an intention for your practice. Doesn't have to be a big ticket item, it could be simple. All right, now release your hands again. Arms reach out wide. Exhale, swan dive forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands to the earth. And we're going to start by lifting your right leg straight up for standing split. So get it as high up as you can, and your hips can open, that's all right. On the exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest, bend both of your knees, look towards your right foot. Inhale, press down to your left foot, lengthen your right leg back up as high as you can. Exhale, step carefully back into crescent. I wish I had us lifting our left foot, but I didn't. That's okay. Slight bend in your right knee. Sweep your arms forward and up into crescent. Turn your palms out. Melt your hands down your side. Open up across your collarbones. Float your arms back up over your head. Palms together. Lift through your back hamstring as you dive forward. Palms to the mat. Step into plank and lower all the way to the earth. Instead of cobra, we'll take one of our locust variations. Thumbs point down, fingertips reach back, heart lengthens forward, strong back. Exhale, release. And your journey back to downward dog. From here, we'll come back to the top of the mat, step walk or hop. Lengthen out halfway. Exhale, fold. And come all the way back up to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, hands through midline. Inhale, arms circle back out wide. Hips reach back, heart reaches forward, hinge down, hands come to the earth. Since we lifted our right foot or left foot last time, let's lift our left, We lifted our right last time, so now we're lifting our left. Inhale your left foot up. Exhale, knee coils in. Bend both of your knees and then press into the earth. So your right foot's pressing down, left foot's reaching up. And step back into crescent. Sweep your arms forward. Hug your lower ribs in. Palms turn out. Shoulder blades draw together. Inhale, hands come back up over your head. Exhale, dive forward. Step with control back into plank. And with your legs used as brakes, lower all the way down. Any variation of locust, thumbs can point down, fingertips reach back. Release. And back to downward dog. Heels above toes. Step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. Lengthen out halfway. Nice long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees just slightly. Lengthen your spine and then come all the way back up to standing. Exhale, hands through center. We're going to do one more round of this. So inhale, big breath in, expand your lungs. Same breath control as you dive forward. Let's actually do this the right way this time. Lift your left leg up. Inhale, high as you can get it. Exhale, coil into center. Press down to your right foot. Lift up with your left. Carefully step back into crescent. Sweep your arms forward and up. And then open your heart, arms circle down your sides. Breathe your arms back up. Reach back through your left heel, reach forward through your heart as you hinge forward. Strong core as you step back into plank. Elbows press or graze your rib cage as you lower. Locust pose. Stretch from the crown of your head to your feet. Release. And back to downward dog. Heels lift if you're hopping. Knees bend. And on the exhale, you hop forward. Lengthen out halfway. Exhale, fold. Lengthen your spine as you come up. Exhale, hands through center. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Right leg lifts. Lots of energy and posing actions here. Exhale, coil in. Inhale, lift. Carefully step back to crescent. Inhale, rise. Exhale, melt. Arms lift back up. Exhale, lift through your right hamstring as you fold forward. Step into plank. Carefully, with patience, lower to the earth. Cobra pose, fingertips, lots of energy from the crown of your head to your feet. Release, hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes, abdomen away from the mat, whole body. And back to downward dog. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. So you can start to notice any shifts in energy. Become present. Check back in with the conditions of your mind. All right, from here, lower your knees to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, hips over your knees, just like we started. We'll do a little spinal balance pose today for our core work. First, I want to go through a couple of exercises, or just one exercise, to make sure that we're maintaining stability through center and not getting too much of this lower back bend, which I know I have a tendency to do in spinal balance pose. So what I would like for you to try to do is go from cat pose, and you can do this with me, and just to neutral. Cat pose, lift through your shoulders, and neutral. As you do that, can you feel your lower abdominals engage to help support your lower back? That's the same action I want you to find as we go into our spinal balance core work. Okay, so let's get that started. Let's start by reaching your left leg back, your right arm forward. Lift your left heel. And then let's notice, even exaggerate it. When you lift your left leg too high, you get a really big dip in your lower back. So reach out through your left heel and support your lower back by drawing in your lower abdominals. Now on the exhale, coil in, elbow comes in, knee draws in. Inhale, careful that you maintain the support. Reach out, stretch your back leg. Exhale, draw into center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, coil. Let's do two more. Thumb is up. Exhale, draw in. This time we're going to hold. Reach your hand forward, left foot flexed. Maybe lift your right foot just slightly. Kind of throws off your balance, gives you something else new to work on. And then bring left knee down, right hand down. It's always a surprising amount of work on your hand or the shoulder for your hand that's down. Like, that shouldn't be that hard, but it is. Okay, let's go into the other side, already supporting your lower back, even just in this neutral position. You can draw in your lower abdominals just right here. Starting by lengthening your right leg, left arm extends, lift your leg up, keep your leg as straight as you can get it without bending your lower back. Exhale with power, coil in, elbow draws in, knee draws in. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, coil. Inhale out. Exhale, draw in, press your right hand down, lift. Inhale, find your strong back. Let's coil in one more time. Inhale, lengthen, flex your foot a lot. Toes point straight down, lift your left foot slightly. Create a little more stabilization work here, which is okay. Means growth. And then release your left hand, release your right knee. One more thing here, we're gonna add a back bend into this. Reach your left leg back, your right hand forward. Now bend at your left knee, turn your right thumb down, and sweep your right hand along the horizon to grab a hold of your left foot. Press foot into hand, hand into foot, and lift your foot straight up as you reach your heart forward. Shoulders square as you can get them to the front of your mat. Keep breathing. Keep pressing down into your left hand. And then we'll gently release. Same thing on the other side. Left hand reaches forward, right foot flex, pointed down. Turn your left thumb down, sweep your left hand around, bend your right foot or knee, then press your foot into your hand, And to help lengthen your heart forward, press your right hand down a lot. Open up through your collarbones. And gently return hand and knee to the earth. Take your knees wide. Bring your big toes together. Send your hips towards your heels. We'll take a moment here in child's pose to stretch your lower back and check in with the quality of your breath. You may notice that if you have a lower back that bends a lot, bringing your knees together will change that sensation for you rather than having wide. So you find what's appropriate for you today, and that might change every day. Let's take a couple more breaths here, just you and your breath in the mat. All right, back to hands and knees. If you have your blocks, bring them to the top of your mat. And then let's find downward dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg straight back. Reach out through your heel all the way to the crown of your head. On your exhale, draw your knee into your chest, coil in through center, shift forward, and place your right foot next to your right hand. Grab a hold of your blocks on the tall side. Your left leg is straight right now. You're lifting up through your hamstring, and your right knee is over your right ankle. On the inhale, you'll shift back. I'm going to move my block so you can see. Shift your hips back, but keep your spine long, and you're on the heel of your right foot, toes flexed towards you. And then bend forward, lift through your left hamstring, rebend your front knee so your back leg still has lots of power, and then back again. Let's do that 2 more times. Shift, bend your front knee, lift through your back hamstring, and then slide your hips back. Come forward one last time. Walk, keep a hold of your blocks. Walk your hands forward about a foot, and then hop your back foot in for warrior 3 with block. So your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Keep your back foot flexed, pointed down. You can check to make sure you get a little visual confirmation. Now, like we did in the beginning, we'll coil everything in, bend both knees. But instead of lifting our leg as high as we can, we're just going to reach it straight back out. Good. Couple more times. Exhale, coil, and lengthen. Leg stays even with the horizon. Coil in. Lengthen out, support your lower back like we did in our spinal balance pose. Now come to your fingertips on the blocks. A little bit of a bend in your standing leg. And then reach your hands behind you, thumbs point down, fingertips reach back. Lots of energy extending from the crown of your head through the heel of your lifted foot. I know you're feeling this in your side butt, Beth. All right, now let's carefully step back into crescent. Float your arms up over your head. Exhale, hands through center, lower all the way down. I'm going to give us a good side butt stretch at the end, don't worry. Step back into plank. Navel to spine as you lower to the mat. Any variation of locust pose. I'm going to take the variation where my hands are not clasped and release. And then through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Inhale thy left leg straight back and up, big stretch. Again, really think about creating length from the heel to the crown of your head. Exhale, knee to chest. Keep your knee lifted as you shift and place left foot next to left thumb. Employ your blocks, should you have them. And already think about activating this back leg by lifting through your right hamstring. Slide your hips back, reach your heart forward, come to your left heel so toes are pulled back towards you. And then right foot presses down and back, left foot presses down and forward. Hips slide back. Think cow pose as you come back. Reach your heart forward and up. Still lifting through your back leg. One more time, slide back, long spine. Come back forward, knee over ankle. Walk your hands forward. Lift your back leg. Toes flexed, pointed down, a visual confirmation of that. And now on the exhale, coil and bend both knees. And then press your right foot back out, extend through the crown of your head. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, lengthen. Let's coil in one more time. Inhale, lengthen back out. Come to your fingertips on the blocks. And then release your hands. If you can, you could always leave your hands on the blocks. Thumbs point down, having some balance issues today too. Fingertips reach back. Use your strong core. A little bit of a bend in your standing knee will help with buoyancy. If we're too rigid when we try to balance, we end up falling. We need a little bit of give. All right, then let's carefully step back into crescent. Sweep your arms forward and up over your head. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Step with strength and control back into plank. Navel draws up, elbows point back. Strong back as you find locust pose. Lift through your glutes, release, and then back to downward dog. Alrighty. Inhale your right leg straight back. Exhale your knee into center. Keep it lifted. Shift forward, foot to thumb. Already taking your hands to your blocks. Come into our warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. So you can be here working with your gluteus medius strength, or if you want to work for some balance, your hands can reach back. We've got two more options. One is bending your lifted leg and stopping here. Oop, I can't look at the screen and do that at the same time. And then the last option is grabbing a hold of your foot. You could do, for today, let's do opposite hand to opposite foot, and you can have one hand down, and that way you get a little more back bend out of it, like we did in our spinal balance pose. So we did this on the ground earlier. If you're really wanting to go for it today, you could take both hands to foot, but no need to push yourself beyond what you feel like is necessary for you today. Now let's all step back into low lunge. Ground your back knee. You know what? Let's do pigeon at the end. Step into plank and lower all the way down. Strong back in locust pose. Lengthen your heart forward. Keep the back of your neck long. Gaze slightly down. And release. Toes tuck. Make your way back into downward dog. Left side, and then we get to go into pigeon. Lift your left leg up. Exhale, knee hugs into center. Keep it lifted as you shift foot to thumb. Grab a hold of your blocks. Lift your back leg. Toes point down. And options here, you can keep hands on blocks or on the earth. The next step is to reach your hands backwards and then bend your lifted leg. You could also take your right hand down to a block. Left hand grabs a hold of right foot. Find a nice big back bend here. Look forward. Lengthen your heart. And if you're feeling ambitious today, both hands to foot. And then you press your shin straight up as you lift your heart. We'll extend our back leg. Step in to crescent pose. Bring your hands to the mat. And step in to plank. Lower all the way down to the mat. The hands reach back, thumbs point down. Last locust pose. Release. And then from knee plank, let's take a moment in child's pose. All that balancing can be hard work. Take a moment to give yourself a pat on the back. Actually let's actually do that. Let's take your fingertips to your shoulder blades. Give yourself a little pat and a little tricep stretch. Give yourself some gratitude for showing up today. And then from all fours, bring your right foot forward. Walk your right foot across to your left hand. We're headed towards pigeon. Your right knee will lower down towards your right hand. Hips stay square. Or you're finding Z pose with your left knee bent towards the left side. I like to start by lengthening the front of my body and then fold forward. Release your outer hip muscle, your gluteus medius. See if you can bring your forehead in contact with something. It could be the backs of your hands or your mat. See if you can slow your breath down. Notice what happens, the sensations as you move, shift the weight from the right side of your hip to the left. If you're folded forward, bring your hands back in towards you. Place them underneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes, lift your hips, and then shake your right leg out behind you to get the blood moving back through your hip. Replace your right foot back to the earth. Lift your left leg straight back. Exhale, foot to thumb. Ground your right knee. Walk your left foot over to right hand and place left knee near left hand. Settle in for your version of a side hip stretch, pigeon or Z pose. Taking a moment to lengthen out through the front of your body before you fold. Then find some place where you can be that feels transformative. Notice if you're favoring the side that has the least sensation. But what happens when you lean into it a little more? What growth possibilities await when you step into something that's just a little bit more uncomfortable? As your mind drifts, gently guide it back to your mat, to your body, to your breath. Let's walk our hands back in. Underneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes, lift your hips, reach your left leg back, shake your left leg, ground your left foot, bring both of your knees to the mat, and take your feet to the side. We're making our way to our backs. We've done quite a bit of back bending already today. We're going to skip that in our completion portion. Do roll on back. Since we did do quite a bit of back bending, I like to walk my feet to the side, bring my knees together. So my feet are at the edges of the mat, my knees leaning up against each other. Let's bring left hand to sternum, right hand to navel. Relax your shoulders, the muscles in your face. And just be present with the sensations of your body breathing. As your mind begins to wander, that's okay. You can just bring it back to your breath. It's like doing little bicep curls for your mind. You're welcome to stay here in constructive rest pose, or feel free to lengthen out through your legs for your Shavasana. And settle in and let go into the spaces between your thoughts. Without moving or opening your eyes. Bring your awareness back into the space around you, starting with the perimeter of your body. Bring small movements back, fingers and toes. Deepen your breath. Lengthen your arms above your head. On an exhale, bend your knees, roll to one side, and pause for just a moment to check in and appreciate what you've done for yourself today. From here, press yourself up into a seated position at the front of your mat, palms together as a gesture of gratitude. Lengthen through the crown of your head, sit tall, dignified. Thank you all so much for coming today, for yourselves, for each other. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, and live with strength and ease. Namaste.